In the dense canopy of the ancient Indian forest, survival is a strict, solitary business. It is a highly volatile ecosystem where brute force usually dictates who lives and who dies, and every animal is an island. These narratives are preserved in ancient Sanskrit manuscripts, recorded alongside detailed observations on behavioral dynamics and statecraft. The authors used these animal interactions to model the specific mechanics of cooperation in high-risk environments. Take the story of a flock of doves lured to the ground by scattered rice, only to be instantly trapped by a hunter's woven net. Beating their wings in a blind panic accomplished nothing. Escaping that trap required a highly specialized skill, the precision of a golden mouse named Hiranya, whose sharp teeth were the only things capable of slicing through the constraints. The crow recognized the value of the mouse's infiltration skills, but approaching him meant ignoring the biological food chain. To overcome the mouse's deeply ingrained fear, the crow proposed a strict mutual non-aggression pact, offering protection for cutting abilities. Cautiously, the mouse accepted. They began sharing resources, pooling their gathered rice, and eventually they felt secure enough to leave their territory to scout a new operational base. By forming this partnership, the crow and the mouse prioritized a calculated objective over their natural roles as hunter and hunted. They demonstrated that strategic foresight can create a pathway for cooperation that biological instinct alone would never permit. Seeking to evade the local hunter, the duo migrated miles away to a different geographic terrain. They traded the forest canopy for a wide open riverbed filled with massive boulders and rocky outcroppings. Here, they recruited a third member, Mandarika the tortoise. He provided a tactical advantage the bird and the mouse lacked, bringing heavy, impenetrable defense to the group. The final member arrived when a panicked deer came crashing through the thick brush to escape a hostile hunting party. Exhausted and cornered, he joined the group, adding the essential element of high-speed evasion. Their quadrant matrix maps 4 specialized roles: aerial recon, infiltration, heavy defense, and high-speed evasion. But this introduced a major liability. The tortoise's heavy armor came at the cost of speed, making him a stationary target. While these varied skills provided a strategic advantage, they also created deep operational gaps that a predator could easily exploit if the team failed to coordinate. The first crisis hit when the deer vanished. The crow used his aerial recon to scan the forest, quickly locating their friend trapped in a hunter's snare. They executed a rapid deployment. The crow airlifted the mouse and performed an aerial insertion, dropping him directly onto the net to sever the quartz. The deer was freed, but the rescue had a fatal flaw. Driven by loyalty, the slow-moving tortoise had marched toward the danger zone. Moving at a crawl, he arrived in the clearing far too late to be of any use. The hunter arrived to find his primary target gone, but he instantly pivoted. Seeing the defenseless, slow-moving tortoise, he scooped him up and tied him into the net instead. Solving one problem had created a vacuum for their slowest member. By failing to account for the tortoise's limitations, the team allowed their enemy to dismantle them piece by piece. Now they faced a seemingly impossible objective: rescue an armored hostage from a moving human predator without the physical strength to fight him. The mouse devised a masterstroke, a synchronized, multi-stage distraction. The plan required the 3 remaining animals to converge on the hunter, using their specific skills in a precise sequence. In Phase 1, the deer utilized his speed to sprint ahead of the hunter. Once in position, he collapsed on the path and feigned death. In Phase 2, the crow landed on the deer's head. He began aggressively mimicking a scavenger to convince the hunter that the deer was a fresh, unclaimed carcass. When the hunter saw the deer, greed overrode his caution. He drops the tortoise and sprints toward the larger prize. The moment he gets close, the deer leaps up and bolts away with the crow, leaving the hunter chasing nothing. By manipulating the enemy's psychological greed, the physically weaker animals dictated the terms of the battlefield. With the hunter distracted, the mouse moved into the unguarded drop zone. He used his sharp teeth to rapidly sever the net, allowing the tortoise to slip back into the safety of the river. The hunter eventually returned to find an empty net. Frustrated and confused, he attributed his total failure to supernatural magic, never realizing he had been outmaneuvered. The reality behind the magic was the precise tactical application of 4 different physiological traits. They didn't need supernatural power. They only needed to work as a single unit. True strength and survival in a hostile world do not come from uniformity. Instead, they come from forging alliances that deeply value and leverage the profound differences between us.